Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and today I'm super excited to show you how easy it is to make your own needle book. I don't know if you're like me and you have sewing needles all over the place, but you can never find one when you need it. If that's you, then you can definitely make one of these and it will be super helpful in your life. So this is the one I made a few years ago. I'm going to show you all the stuff, but let me just show you basically what this looks like. It's gray felt with white lace and some buttons. And I only did one thickness on the outside. We're going to do two. And then it has 4 pages, some with buttons on them, of needles. And then in the back it has this little pouch where I have some plastic needles and then this little threader thing. At the same time that I made this, just FYI, we're not going to do this today, but we will do it sometime in the next month or so. I also made this adorable little pouch that goes with it for my crochet hooks because I was having the same problem. I couldn't ever find them. So that's what I made a few years ago, and we're going to do something very similar. This one I just was practicing this morning and getting my dimensions, and so I made this one. It's similar but not exactly the same. I did lace around the outside, and this has 2 thicknesses, an outside cover and an inside cover, and then it has 4 pages, and I didn't do a pocket in the back. Anyways, for this I just used the felt that I have on hand, and you can use absolutely any felt that you have on hand that you want to use. It does not have to be like wool felt. It does not have to be expensive felt. It can be the 25-cent felt that you get at Walmart, at Joann's, at Michael's, at Hobby Lobby. If you want it to be a little bit thicker, for example, for the outside, I would try to get the slightly more expensive felt, which can go anywhere from 33 cents up to 79 cents. So today we're going to be using these colors. We're going to do and this is a 79-cent piece. Oh no, it's a 39-cent. Okay. This is a 39-cent piece from Hobby Lobby. That's going to be the outside. This is going to be the inside of the book. And then the pages are going to be ivory. Okay? Should be really pretty. And I have some trim that I'm thinking about using. This was the inspiration for my colors. This was one of those little trim packs that you can get. This came from Hobby Lobby, and I think it was 40% off. So all this trim here was, I think I paid $2.99 or something for it. It's with the ribbons and that kind of thing. So we're going to probably use this. We'll be using a low temperature gluing device, and we'll possibly use some buttons. Okay, so let's jump right in. You are going to be making 2 of the book covers, the inside and the outside. And of course the dimensions can be whatever you want, but this is just what I have come up with. And I know it's hard to see, so I will get pictures and put those in the comments. This right here is going to be my outside piece, and this is going to be my inside piece. So you might as well cut 2 pieces at the same time. And this book cover is going to be 8 inches wide by 6 inches high, and then it's going to have a crease in the center, so you can see basically how that's going to work. And then the inside pages, I really, unless you have a million needles, you really don't need more than 4 pages, and 2 pieces will get you 4 pages, okay? So the inside pages are 7 inches wide by 5 inches long, and I just have 2 pieces of that creamy ivory pinned together, and I cut these out, okay, before we came live, just to, save a little time. Okay, somebody's asking, could these work with Magnolia ink and stencils? I don't know. I have not ever tried that. It'd be worth a try, definitely. So I will take pictures of this and get that to you. And a lot of this project, you guys, is gonna be you recutting things, which I need to grab my scissors, and adjusting as you go along, because the fold in the book kind of creates some wonky issues. Okay, so this is going to be my inside and this is going to be my outside. And on this purple one, I did the little pointy corners, but I really think I like them better with the rounded corners. So we're going to just eyeball that and kind of snip a little bit of a round corner on each spot. I may have to come back and recut those. So I have some interesting facts to tell you about felt. I don't think I remember to turn on my iron. Darn. Let me do that and grab my ironing board because that's our first step. Okay, so there are a lot of myths out there that you cannot iron felt, and they are completely false. You can iron felt, and these books work out so much better when you iron the crease into the center. However, did you know that these felt pieces, they are made of recycled plastic bottles? And it's going to say, contains craft felt. It's a 100% polyester fiber made from recycled post-consumer plastic bottles. I did not ever realize that. So if you would put an iron on a plastic bottle, it would melt. That's why you don't want to do that. Let's round these corners too real quick, and then I'll show you the ironing process. So I put my iron on poly, and I'm going to be real careful that I don't sit for a long time. You let it sit on a specific spot for a long time, because I don't want it to melt my felt. But I do want that crease. And sometimes you have the way you store felt, like this is mine. This is my felt in real life. It's a mess. And of course I never have the color that I want, so I always have to keep going out and getting more. Anyway, sometimes the way you store it, you might have a piece of felt that's folded over on itself, and it's going to have a big crease. And some people would tell you, no, you cannot iron it, but you can. You absolutely can. Just make sure your iron is set on a really low temperature. Boy, I'm a terrible cutter now that I'm looking at this. We will be trimming, but look how jagged those are. Okay. So my iron should be heated up, and I'm going to take each piece of my felt one at a time and fold it in half. And then I'm just going to go over the front. Might not be quite warm enough. And over the back. Just to get that crease in it. So what do you guys think? Is anyone interested in making a needle book, or am I the only one who gets excited about these things? Tell me in the comments. Okay, I'm going to do this one. And nothing we're doing here today is the equivalent of brain surgery. We're not sewing. This is a completely glued project. Let's look at these corners, they're terrible. So I'll show you how to do that and how to camouflage it, but you don't need to do any sewing. However, if you have a sewing machine or you want to stitch it by hand, you absolutely can do that. I just am doing it with hot glue because not everybody knows how to sew, and not everybody has a sewing machine or the You know, you might have needles for little projects, but you might not have a sewing machine. So that's why we're doing it this way with glue. Okay, one more. No matter how neat you do it, you're gonna still. Carolyn says she made several of these after she saw me do it the first time. Yeah. I have had a lot of people asking me recently how to make them, and I was like, shoot, I'm just, instead of replaying that old video, I'm just gonna start from scratch and show them, because I've learned a few things since I made those original ones. One thing I've learned is that I like the cover on the outside to be thicker. Okay, I'm going to put my, let's see, this one might need just a little bit more. All right, I'm going to turn off my iron and put my ironing board over here. I don't think we'll need it again, but I won't put it too far away just in case. So make sure you check your iron before you start to make sure that it is, you know, not set on cotton. If you're going to iron, make sure it is set on poly. Start low, and then you can go higher if you need to. And this is what I mean right here about how you're going to have to do some trimming, because obviously the thickness of the felt makes it so the inside's going to stick out a little bit. And I'm just adjusting this, and then I'm going to pin one side and we'll glue from the other. You want to make sure it's pretty straight. I did learn something this morning, or remember something this morning when I was working on this, that you don't want to glue the whole spine down. You want to leave the ends open, and I'll show you why. It's because if you're going to use lace, you want to put it in between the two, and you want it to go all the way around. Okay, so I've got one side of it pinned. Let's just open the inside of our book, and we can see where that crease is. And I'm going to put some hot glue right down that crease. Not the whole way though. And I'm going to press my felts into it. And this is going to be the first step of our needle book. Okay? I think it looks good. Let me see if I need any glue on this side. Now that I've got that going, I think we're good. Okay, so now, before I go any further, I'm going to hold my book like it's closed, and I'm going to trim up this excess that's hanging over the edge, because that looks messy. It would be better if the inside part was even a little bit smaller than the outside part. Or you could skip this step entirely if you just want to do one thickness on your outside of your book. That's totally fine too. Okay, let's look at the other side. Yep, it needs to be trimmed also. So what is everybody working on these days? Anything interesting? If you're watching live, today is what, the 4th of February, the 3rd of February, something like that, of 2022. This is what I'm going to do next. I got this cute aqua long sleeve t-shirt at Hobby Lobby when I was there getting felt and trim. And I'm going to do that new stencil for Magnolia that says all you need is love and a dog. So it should be super cute. That's what will be coming up next, either later today or tomorrow. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Well, I do see. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to decide what do we want to go around our needle book. Let's look at that. That could be very pretty. Or I was kind of thinking that this could be pretty too. And this is going to match with the inside better. So it would look like this. Or I could do a big piece of lace. But I'm going to do lace around the edge. So let's add this and then we'll see if we want to do more, okay? And this is the confusing part to explain. You want to glue this into the inside of your book before you glue your book front and the front and the inside cover down. So we're going to hide this in the center. Flip it over. We're going to go all the way around. You could do it long enough to tie. Well, that's a good idea. To tie it closed. Should we try that? Let's try that. I've got plenty of this. Well, no, I'm not going to do that because then I don't know how it will look on the edge. Yeah. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to do this project, that you use a low temperature gluing device, because there's a pretty good chance that you will get some glue on your fingers, and there's no reason in the world to get hot glue burns anymore, if you ask me. Okay, I hope this is all making sense. And of course, this is just how I figured it out for myself. You could do it totally different, whatever you want. Wow, I see there's 116 people on. That's awesome. If you're liking this tutorial or you have friends that like to do sewing or little craft projects that sometimes involve needles, feel free to sprinkle this video to your social media. Okay, so we have the outside and I took it into the inside. And now I'm going to do the lace. And I picked this out. And I am just going to start I'm going to start at what I imagine would be the bottom. Let's fold this open so I can access this. Bottom about 2/3. This is going to poke out in between our layers. You'll see how that works in just a minute. See, so it's going to be in between, and it's going to be pretty combined with this. Although we might add something else to it, I don't know. I'm going to kind of fold it a little bit as you're going around the corner. Okay, and then this is why I didn't glue the whole inside of the cover down, because I want to be able to run my lace right through there. I did take pictures of my patterns, and I'll put those in the comments in case you're wondering what were the dimensions again. Hey Christine, how are you doing? Hi Laura. Lori, sorry. Hey Margaret. Okay, so let's keep going. Hopefully this is long enough. It looks like it will be. So if you don't love these colors, I know not everybody likes brown and cream, you can do this project in seriously any color that you like. I would be naturally inclined to do this again, but I've already done it once, so I was like, let's do something a little different. Okay, and then I'm going to run it again through underneath this, and that's why I didn't put the whole center of the book closed yet. Okay, let me let that glue set for just a second. So this is what we have. It's glued in between the two layers of the outside book cover, and so is this. Let me snip this off. And let's glue these little ends down now. Let's go this way. Well, I don't think it matters. All these little details are things that I figure out as I'm going along. I'm the type of crafter that I don't always read instructions or know what I'm doing, but I can pretty much make what I want to have happen. And usually I can do it with what I have on hand. So, okay, now let's glue this inside cover down. Make sure there's not any big lumps of glue in here. Okay, and I'm just going to put a bead of glue right kind of along the lace and push my cover into it. So see, this is now, it's a sandwich. And this side is not glued yet. But let's do it right now. Getting that corner a little better. Okay, here's the outside of our book. It looks like a taco, sort of. Okay, then the next thing is we're going to do the pages. And we're going to do the pages first together and trim them, and then we'll glue them in. So I'm going to do this like I did the outside, and you can see that there's quite a bit that will need to be trimmed. I just want to pull it all the way in. And then I'm going to pin one side of it. And there's no reason not to glue this whole seam here. So let's do it. We'll trim it and then I'll show you how you get it inside. Then we'll talk about embellishing it. We'll talk about putting a little pocket in the back. I don't know. There's lots that we could do. And I want this to look neat from when it closes. So I'm going to trim this so that it's all kind of the same size. I think the ironing will help a lot. It really does. It so helps everything, because then you have that crease, and the crease just, when I did these original felt books, well, I used an iron for this purple one this morning. When I did the original gray one, I did not iron, and it still turned out fine, but it just does make it easier. Okay, so here's our pages. There's 4. We only used 2 pieces, but we glued them in the center like a little book. And now we're going to put them in the center of this. And we're going to do kind of the same thing as we did before. See, where is that crease exactly? I want to make sure that it will be even. Oh, look at that. When you open the pages, I might trim it some more, but let's glue it first. Just looking to see where is my crease. So if it was laying open, I want it to look nice, and this would bother me. And this would bother me too, that edge is not very good. You know, if you have pinking shears, that would be super cute to use too. Or if you know how to sew and you know how to do that blanket stitch, you could do that around the edges. That would be super cute. It'd just be a little more time consuming. Okay, that looks better. The embroidery hoop pouch is super duper simple, and I think that when we do that, we'll also do a little pouch for scissors, which is also super duper simple. Wow, I'm a terrible cutter. Okay, let's make a quick pouch for the back, and I'm going to do that brown. Let's see, how big did I do this one? You could put a pouch in the front too if you want. Okay, and I'm going to round our corners. I know this is kind of slow and tedious, but it's once you make one, it's really easy. You can cut the pieces out while you're watching TV or something, and okay, that's gonna be super cute. And I'm not closing the top, obviously. We could do something cute right here too and put a little, let's do that. Where should we put it? Well, I'm gonna come back to that. Okay, so here is our, let's need some more glue here. Here is our needle book. It's ready to be used, but I want to doll it up a little bit more. And we could use some buttons. I know I have some. My friend Debbie, you guys, she lives in my little town too. And I bought buttons from her before, but she watches this show. And she reached out to me and said, if you need buttons, I have some. So she invited me over, and I need something that's browner. And she gave me a whole bunch of buttons, which was so sweet. Oh my gosh. Because I've been looking for these mother of pearl buttons and not finding anything. I don't know, I might have to come back with the button decoration. But let's look and see if any of this other trim would be pretty on here. I had initially thought that this could be cute. I think that would be sweet. We'll just run it around there, and then let's see what it would look like if we ran it around the bottom too. Yeah, let's do that. I should have glued it onto the inside, but oh well. I'm gonna live with that. That mistaken decision. These can look so different just based on what you choose, your color, and what trim and stuff you use. What are you guys thinking? I have not really been able to pay attention to the comments as much as I would like to because I've been concentrating, but after every live I do. I usually get a cup of coffee or a soda or something, and I go to my comfy chair and I sit down and read all of your comments. So don't hesitate to ask questions. If you want the patterns, I will post those. There'll be a picture here in this group. The iron setting to do the crease is polyester, or poly is what it says. Don't do cotton, because these, most felt, unless it's the real wool felt, which you can't usually find that in craft stores, most felt is made from recycled plastic bottles. So it's gonna melt. Plastic bottles will melt if you put them close to something that is super hot. Whoops, I didn't cut that. else would we want to do? Tell me, do you guys have any suggestions? Then you're just going to take your needles, start collecting them from around the house. You can put them on both sides of a page, but you're just going to put them, you know, through your felt pages. If it's a really long needle, like this one's really long, then I'll do it up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's going to stay in there good. A lot of times I will leave a little bit of thread still on the needle. This is too short. I wouldn't be able to do anything with that. And this one probably is too. But sometimes it's nice if you just have a little something to do with the needle and it already has thread on it. So you don't have to do that again. So I don't know if there's anything else that we could do. I mean, I'm definitely going to look through my buttons and see what I can find that has more of a yellow tone, or I may look in some of my wood buttons. But here you go. This is different from this one in that it has 2 layers as the outside of the book, and it feels more substantial. It really does. But they both have the 4 pages inside, and they both have the little pocket at the back. Before I came live, I got my needles a little more organized in here because they were looking like a big, big mess. And one last thing, if you're finding that you have glue strings and little bits of felt stuck all over, you can use a lint roller to get that all cleaned up. And I would definitely do that, especially if you're going to give this as a gift. You want it to look fabulous. So, what do you guys think? You could also, I have seen some needle books that had a little button right here, and then they had a loop. Maybe I'll add that. I'll have to think about that, but I could use this trim to keep going and to have a loop. I wish I would have thought about that before I glued everything down, to go over a button to hold it closed if you want. But you loop glued into the back side would be so cute to loop into the front button for complete closure. Yeah, that's great. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already liked and followed DIY Dreaming, do this, that's a thumb, or this, that's a heart, or say something to me in the comments. It could be abracadabra or zippity-doo-dah, or it doesn't even have to make sense, but those things let Facebook know, or they interpret that you're interested in that, then they're more likely to serve you what I have coming next. And like I said, we're gonna do this super cute, super easy t-shirt. And I'll probably do something cute on the sleeves too, like a bunch of paw prints or something. Yeah, and check to make sure that you've liked and followed and that your notifications are turned on. And feel free to sprinkle. That is one of the things that helps my business grow the very most. They would make a wonderful gift, Donna says. I totally agree. And if you have somebody who also crochets, where's my crochet hook case? I'll be back again to show you how to make this little crochet hook pouch. And we'll probably do a scissor pouch at the same time. So look how different these 3 books look. And that just gives you an idea how you can change it up so much. You can do these in any color that you want. Can you put measurements on your page? Yeah, I will put measurements on the page. But at the start of the video, I showed the patterns, and I'll just show those one more time, and then I'll put pictures. Okay, the book cover, the very outside and then the inside layer is 8 inches long by 6 inches high. And you want one for the outside and one for the inside. The pages, if you want 4 pages, then you just need 2 pieces. These are just 1 inch smaller, so 7 inches wide by 5 inches high. And I'll get a good picture of that so it's clear and easy to read. And I'll put that in the very first comment. Let's see. I see people saying they love the purple. Yeah, I mean, they're all so different. This is still my favorite because it's the first one I made. And because I've been living with it for a while. And I tell you what, I have really loved that. Oh, Cindy says you're so crafty, Heidi. Thank you. I'm just always looking for something new and different to do because I honestly don't want you guys to get bored of me. And if we did signs or stuffies or carrots every single day, I know you'd be like, that's all she ever does. So I just try really hard to mix it up so that you guys won't be bored and wander away. Alrighty, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Be looking for the measurements in the comments. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And I'll see you guys later.